My first thought is gonna be, how the heck do I make it up this mountain?
It's steep. It's definitely a challenge, especially around the midpoint where you get up to, the consecutive stairs that are about waist high.
It literally is a bunch of steps. It's over 2,800 steps to the top.
I'm imagining, this is over dramatic, but like giant valleys and canyons in the middle of the thing, and a mountain coming out of the mountain that you have to climb, and giant forests and roots everywhere.
Some call it nature's Stairmaster, a 2.9-kilometer hike with nearly 1 kilometer elevation gain reaching the top of Grouse Mountain. Known as the Grouse Grind, it's Vancouver's famously infamous hike. A group of 10 blind youth and young adults are challenging themselves to climb it, and I, AMI's Grant Hardy, am going to join them as they do the grind blind. It's 9 a.m. on a Sunday, and our group is meeting for the first of 4 training sessions leading up to the grind. We've been brought together by Sean Marcellet, founder and executive director of Blind Beginnings.
Welcome, thank you for coming. This is super exciting.
Basically, I can see light and kind of that there's a shape there, but not necessarily what the shape is. So I started Blind Beginnings because there was a real lack of service for children and youth in British Columbia. I was seeing kids graduate from high school with, doing well academically, but lacking in a lot of the other life skills. So that's great if you're on the honor roll and you get into university, but if you don't have the mobility skills to get to university or get around your campus, or you aren't confident in how to dress, then what does it matter if you're doing well academically? But the other thing is just the way you view yourself. So if you feel like you're less than everybody else because of your visual impairment, then you're not going to have confidence in pursuing your dreams, or maybe you're not even going to have dreams. I just really want these kids to reach their potential, and I think their potential is limitless.
Everyone's journey to reach their potential begins with a single step. Today's hike will involve quite a few steps, enough to cover 10 kilometers around Burnaby Lake. But before we begin, the hikers are paired up with a sighted guide.
Nika, you're gonna be with Tracy. Sean will be guiding Grant. So Grant, you're gonna be with Sean, other Sean, not me. And then Adam will be at the back of the pack. This is Adam, everybody. He'll be guiding Harjinder. So I'll wait here so if the front of the pack finishes a lot before the back of the pack, I will still be here to see everybody come in. Everybody has my cell phone number, just in case?
Yes.
Good, so call me if there's any problems along the way. Not that I'll be able to do anything. Really make the most of this training, so try to keep a fairly steady pace.
We're going to do a 10K walk, and the idea is that we want youth to work on endurance. If they can, we suspect it's going to take about 2 hours, and if they can go for 2 hours, that's a good starting point in training towards doing the grind. So everybody's being paired up with a guide today. Hopefully they'll stay with these guides, but it could change depending on how the relationship works or how the guiding goes.
My name is Harjinder Saran. My visual impairment diagnosis is called bilateral microphthalmia. That means that my eyes, when I was born, were not fully developed, so I actually have prosthetic eyes. I was never able to take the regular PE classes in my school because, people thought that, it's difficult for her to do sports, or it's difficult for her to run. What we're doing, climbing the Grouse Grind, is not to say that, oh, look, there's blind people climbing the Grouse Grind, that's so inspirational. I think it's to show that blind people can climb the Grouse Grind. It doesn't matter if they're blind or not. People don't really know, and I think that's my biggest thing, is I just want to be a part of showing people that I can do physical activity.
Harjinder is very determined. She's really thrived in the 3 years that she's been part of Blind Beginnings. She's become a lot more confident, independent, wants to try things for herself, wants to have as many new experiences as possible, and she's got a stubbornness to her that reminds me of me. If you tell her she can't do something, she's going to show you that she can.
Well, I think it's going to be exciting. I like trying new things. I like challenges. My name is Russell Young. I'm 16 years old. My vision is not very good. It's not very usable. I need a cane to walk around. But however, if I don't have a cane, I can just see just enough for me to not run into things. I guess I'm your stereotypical nerd, I guess. But I do read a lot. I game a lot, and I'm trying to write my own novels, but I'm currently suffering from writer's block. I've always wanted to do the grind, always. From the moment I heard about it, I've always wanted to do the grind because I like a challenge. I wanted to prove to people that just because I'm visually impaired, I can still do the grind. I feel very excited, I guess, because I'm excited. I'm a little bit scared too because I'm not sure how I'm gonna do, if I'm gonna collapse at the end of it.
Literally, I've watched Russell grow up. He's really confident, like his blindness is not something that I have any issues with. He's very comfortable in his own skin. I've heard Russell describe himself as lazy, which is kind of funny because why would you be signed up to do the Grouse Grind if you're lazy?
My name's Clement Chow. Well, I'm 25. I was born with Norie's disease, which is a genetic eye condition, and I'm totally blind as a result. I mean, people generally describe me as outgoing. I tend to be a challenger, so I like to do things that most people don't tend to think of. Most people don't usually tend to imagine blind people and hiking in the same sentence, let alone doing the grind. For me, I think it's a really big statement that we're saying, hey, look, we're gonna get a group together and we're all gonna go up there together. And everybody is different levels of experience. Some people have never hiked before, some people hike all the time. So it's not just the fact that it's blind people doing it, it's the fact that blind people from every walk of life and every kind of lifestyle are coming together to do it together.
The wide range of experience and fitness was certainly noticeable at our first training session.
I've walked Burnaby Lake a few times before, and I knew for a fact that the grind and any of these other training sessions were going to be nearly as easy as this, right?
Like Russell, I found the hike to be easy and let myself get lost in conversation. But around the halfway mark, my competitive drive kicked in as I realized that I was trailing most of the others. My guide and I sped up and we made good time, but not everyone found the trail to be so smooth and painless.
I thought it was going to be an easy walk. It hurt really bad in my legs. It was one of the most toughest physical activity things I have done. It was really, really hard on me, and I knew that after I had serious thoughts about, do I want to continue this challenge?
Coming up, it's a month later and our legs get a serious workout as our group climbs up, way up, on over 500 steps.
More to come on Do the Grind Blind. Welcome back as we join Grant Hardy in Do the Grind Blind.
Yeah, this is going to be interesting. 500 steps, I hear.
500 steps?
You're gonna die.
Just count them down.
It's 9 a.m. on another Sunday a month later, and Blind Beginnings Executive Director Sean Marcellet has gathered our group of blind hikers for the second of 4 training sessions as we work our way to climbing the Grouse Grind. Today's trail is known as the Coquitlam Crunch.
Hey guys, can I have your attention? It's an interesting little route. It goes up a few concrete stairs to a road. You cross the road, and then you're at the section with the 500 plus stairs. They're all the same, but they're in chunks. So to be like 15 stairs and then a little platform, it might veer slightly to the left. And then another 12 steps up, and then it platform, and then it veers slightly back to the right. So you need to use your guide and use your canes, okay? Don't rely on your vision because there's also no railings and it's not a very wide set of stairs. It's like maybe 3 people could fit shoulder to shoulder across.
The crunch was new to many of our group of blind hikers, including myself, and as we pair up with our guides, the 500 steps are looming large in our minds. Hiker Russell Young.
I thought immediately I was already tired immediately. So I was like, oh no, 100 steps. It's a lot. Like I just thought, oh, it's a lot. I feel that this is it's good endurance training too, because I play goalball, so it's good endurance training.
Hiker Harjinder Saran.
My thoughts were, wow, that's a lot of steps. And my thoughts were, what do the steps mean when we're talking about Coquitlam Crunch? Because I know for everything, steps are different.
Wow, that's a lot of steps. I am stoked. I think that I'm in kind of borderline shape, and I have done a fair amount of hiking that's involved steep inclines, but not quite to that point. Feeling ambitious, hiker Clement Chow put on a 20-pound weighted vest.
I'm just trying to keep telling myself that 500 is a small number compared to what we're going to be doing at the grind. So I decided to try and train with a bit more extra weight.
But before we get started, Sean had some bad news to share.
So I'm not doing great. I broke my foot almost 2 weeks ago, and so I'm not able to do the hike with the gang today, which is disappointing. I'm hoping that I'm going to be healed in time to join back in, and I'm determined that I definitely want to try to do the Grouse Grind with them. My foot's in an air cast, so I am able to walk, put a bit of weight on it, and they say that the bone should take 4 to 6 weeks to heal, but I haven't actually talked with the doctor yet to find out what does that mean? Does hiking count in 4 to 6 weeks? So I don't know exactly where I'm at, but for now I'm hobbling around.
You know, bad luck. Stroke of bad luck, I guess. The icon of Blind Beginnings isn't gonna do with us. Like, the literal, she was the creator, and she can't do it with us. Like, that's a little bit disappointing.
Down but not out. Although she couldn't join us on the climb, Sean was determined to cheer us on along the way.
Okay guys, have a great time. Good luck.
As Sean mentioned, this training hike was going to exercise our legs and our ability to work with our sighted guides. Christina Duncan, recreation therapist at Sunny Hill Hospital, is Clement's guide.
My guiding skills are fairly good, but that's more on level roadways. So I haven't done a lot of adventure hiking or anything like that. So for me, it's learning to use language, being really clear with my directions and instructions to Clement, looking ahead, always looking ahead, seeing what's coming up. It's taught me quite a bit about just really being on the ball and just being very present and very aware.
She's a very enthusiastic guide, which I really like. And she's somebody who is very good at that accountability, which I really like because I know I definitely need someone to keep me accountable. But she's also very encouraging, and we always have good conversations during the hikes.
Clement, you're gonna take all my water.
Can I take a little bit?
Oh, you bugger, you better not have germs. I have known Clement since he was about 9 years of age, and I've had many opportunities to do some pretty neat things with him and just watch him grow up as a young adult now. And I'm actually quite excited that he's my partner. He's very energetic. I actually have to kind of calm him down once in a while and tell him to stop running, stop putting 20 pounds of weight on himself, because he might actually kill me on the way up.
For Christina, doing the grind with Blind Beginnings is especially significant.
Back in 1991, I worked at Grouse Mountain, and I was one of the 2 workers up there who actually organized the first Grouse Grind run. I have seen it change immensely over the years. Now it has over 2,800 steps. It takes the average person just over an hour to do it if they're in good shape. It's quite an anthill. It's during the summer months. It really is an amazing trail that people are drawn from all over the world to try. I haven't seen anybody with a visual impairment that I know of on it. And for our youth especially, to experience something that they certainly have heard about, to experience it and be able to talk that language and say, you know, I know what the Grouse Grind is all about. I've done it, I can speak the language now, and I just think it's really empowering.
Which is why she suggested the idea of getting some of the Blind Beginnings crew to do the Grouse Grind.
And immediately I loved the idea, like, hey, no limits, come on, let's challenge ourselves.
And challenge ourselves we did as we climbed up the crunch.
I'm not wearing a 20-pound weight.
That is true, that is true.
It's it's a good start for us, I think.
Oh yeah.
Especially with you and your weight.
Yeah, definitely not. You know what? I was expecting it to be a lot harder, and it's hard, but you know, I'm still going. So.
I like the stairs better because I feel like they're easy to do, and the hills I have to kind of power through because they're challenging for me. I know that I'm almost there because we had met people coming down on the crunch, and they had said that we're above halfway. And I always use their signs along the stairs. And what I found like for me is like knowing that, oh, I've done this much or this much left kind of motivates me.
So we are at just over 2 kilometers, 2.02, which means we are in the final stretch of the hike. This is going really well. John, my guide, is doing a great job, and I actually think that the varying terrain in this hike is making it a lot more dynamic and a lot easier. The first hike was just long, even though it was flat, but even though this one is on a very steep incline in different spots, it's going really well. I'm not feeling it quite as much. After reaching the top and taking some celebratory photos, we headed back down.
I think most of the group is doing great. I'm not sure how much training they're doing in between our group sessions, so we're going to find that out today in our meeting, but most of them seemed to do really well and got up and down with no problem. I think a couple of people are struggling a little bit more and are going to need to work harder if they want to be able to do the grind.
Sean stresses fitness at the group meeting after the hike.
By the time we meet again, which is in 5 weeks, I really want you guys to focus on your fitness because it's going to get harder. The communication stuff is going to get harder. Okay, does that make sense? Yeah. So yeah, if you normally take the elevator somewhere and you can take the stairs, do that. Getting off the bus one stop earlier to walk the rest of the way home if you can do that.
Blind Beginnings program coordinator Sean Heslop adds to the helpful advice by showing us a couple of exercises, lunges and squats.
Ideally, you want your back to be straight up and down, and so you're going to come down to 90 degrees. If you can go lower, do it. So Melody, your knees need to be, so you kind of want your legs to be flat.
Your thighs parallel to the floor.
Like this?
Yeah.
Come with me.
Coming up, it's a month later, and our group tackles truly mixed terrain and tries not to let it trip us up.
Rocks, a lot of rocks, a big rock mess. A messy, rocky mess.
Huge rocky mess.
More to come on Do the Grind Blind. You're watching Do the Grind Blind with your guide, Grant Hardy.
It's a Sunday 9 a.m. start a month later as Sean Marcellet, Executive Director for Blind Beginnings, gathers us at Deep Cove to hike a portion of the Baden-Powell Trail known as Quarry Rock. It's the third of 4 training hikes leading up to climbing the Grouse Grind. Our group of blind hikers are getting awake and ready to take on our most challenging hike yet. Hiker Russell Leong.
Things are going okay. I'm kind of tired today because I didn't have a very good sleep today or last night. But it's hopefully it should be okay. I mean, I ate some breakfast before I came here. I'm trying to be not tired.
Hiker Clement Chow.
This one is a lot more varied terrain than the last couple ones we've done. The first one was pretty flat, and the second one was pretty much all stairs, and this one starts to kind of mix the two a bit more, and it starts to deal with more inclines and bush and tree and root and rock. So it'll be interesting, I think, to see how everybody handles it differently.
Hiker Harjinder Saran.
I feel like it's going to be more challenging than the other two, and it's going to build communication between the participants and the guides.
We really want the youth to kind of understand that not every step is going to be the same when they're climbing the grind, and be prepared for the unexpected, basically.
Once again, Sean sits this one out as she still deals with her broken foot.
Well, my preparation kind of has been put on hold because of the broken foot. It's been 7 weeks now and another week before I get an x-ray to determine whether the bone has fully healed. So I haven't been able to hike, but we'll see what the doctor says.
It was time for us all to hit the trail. Right away, it was noticeably different than the 2 previous training hikes. For Russell's guide, Sean, describing things succinctly was key to traveling smoothly.
Big step.
Well, we're trying, but you keep
Moving.
moving, so we can't.
Rocks, a lot of rocks, a big rock mess. A messy, rocky mess.
Huge rocky mess.
And then there's a step that you go dip. Okay, yeah, there you go. Yeah. All right, stone, sand, not much friction, floor.
Harjinder and her guide Adam work on their communication technique as they make their way around obstacles.
There is quite a log here, so I'm just going to get you to find out with your cane. Step over it.
Over it or on it?
Over it. Well, you can step on it if you want.
Okay.
But, oh, yeah, there you go. Okay, tighten up.
With Clement's guide Christina unable to be there, Blind Beginnings' Lisa Odland acts as substitute. The two work well together and make sure to take plenty of water breaks, since avoiding dehydration is important, especially on hot days.
Yeah, I could have some water too.
Do you know how far we are from the top?
We're super close now, yeah. Yeah, and the view at the top is pretty spectacular.
Lovely.
Yeah, it's a great view, right, Clement?
Mm-hmm.
So sparkly.
It's unbeatable. I think we're pretty much close to the top now, and it's definitely a different experience going from flat trail to regular stairs to a bit of everything. So I think it's a nice way for everybody to kind of apply what they've taken from it already, and to just put it all together.
Good work!
At the topmost point of the hike is a giant rock that easily fit our entire group. It overlooks an ocean inlet known as Indian Arm, and I'm told the view of the water, forests, and mountains is breathtaking.
Blind Beginnings!
After posing for the must-have group photo, it was time to make our way down, which means less exertion, but a far more challenging test.
I think I just went in the air for like a couple seconds. Honestly. Yeah.
All right, irregular steps down.
But every time I fall, I just lose my mind. Like I don't remember what I'm doing.
These are all irregular down.
We all eventually made it down, a bit worn, but safe and sound.
We're just really dirty.
It's very dirty.
Yeah.
Dusty areas that were
Yeah, that's the only reason I wiped out was just sheer
The next
dirt.
hike, wear knee pads, elbow pads.
Oh God, it was exhausting. I'm really, I'm really tired. My ankles are hurting. I fell twice today, so that's great. I fell twice. I didn't bleed. I wasn't bleeding, and I was one of the first ones to make it to the top.
I think this trail is challenging. I think it really gets you to work and, focus a little more. You definitely can't just walk and think about whatever. You have to really focus on what you're doing and plan for the next step and plan the moves that you're gonna make. I think I got better trust with my guide because we both learned how to communicate. I think on the way up it was a little harder because we had never done something like this before, but on the way down it was much quicker.
Oh, things are going great with my guide. We're able to really communicate well, and there's absolutely no problem. At this point, aside from just making sure that I stay in shape and get into better shape, I'm actually feeling pretty pumped about our chances of doing the Grouse Grind. I would say that I definitely have to work out more, and probably go on a few more good hikes during the summer. I definitely have to pick up a pair of more sturdy shoes to avoid any trip hazards. In terms of the terrain, if it's anything like today, I'm really not too worried about it because it was just more awkward than anything, but it was totally doable, which was great.
I actually honestly think that Deep Cove is kind of the closest to the grind that we'll get, without actually doing the grind. I think everything is similar in that there's a lot of steps, there's a lot of rocks to look out for, just kind of on a smaller scale than the grind, and of course it's shorter than the grind.
The grind's gonna be really hard, so I'm looking forward to it, but I'm not looking forward to it at the same time. I think it's gonna be hard. I think it's gonna be strenuous, but I'm also looking forward to it, and that's gonna be a new experience. It's gonna be challenging.
Coming up, it's a month later, and our group heads to Grouse Mountain for a taste of the challenge to come.
Stay tuned for more Do the Grind Blind. Welcome back as we join Grant Hardy in Do the Grind Blind.
Is this one like harder than Quarry Rock?
I think it's longer, steeper.
It's 9 a.m. on a wet Sunday morning, and Blind Beginnings Executive Director Sean Marcellet gathers our group of blind hikers for the fourth and last training hike before we climb the infamous Grouse Grind.
So today we're doing a trail that sort of parallels the grind. It doesn't have as many steps and uneven terrain, but it has the same elevation, so it's more switchbacks, and it'll be really testing their endurance. And just, it's nice to be at Grouse Mountain to see how busy it is this morning, and kind of show them what they're aiming for next month. I think everybody that's here today is ready for this next challenge, and this will, give them an idea of how high up Grouse is, and a little bit of an idea of how hard it's going to be next month. At the last hike, they all did pretty well getting up, but a lot of people slipped and fell at some point during the hike, so they found it challenging. It was also really dry and slippery, where today it's a little bit wetter, so hopefully that'll be not as slippery, I'm hoping. But everybody did really well, and I'm really proud of them. They're really coming through and working hard.
It's been a few weeks since the last training session, and the damp weather is on hiker Russell Leung's mind.
Today is going to be not very fun. It's just going to be wet. The rocks are going to be quite slippery today. So, yeah, so that's one of my own concerns.
Hiker Harjinder Saran is sure that today's hike will be challenging.
For some reason, I've been more anxious about it, and that's only, I think, because it's more like the Grouse Grind. This is left a bit more natural, it's a bit more rocks and roots, so that you get the more hiking experience. And the harder part is that people can look at the trail on a map, whereas me, I don't know what it looks like.
Her foot still on the mend, Sean is unable to join the hikers.
It's feeling pretty good, and I'm allowed to return to normal activity, but I don't know that hiking is considered normal activity, so I'm kind of being a little bit cautious because I wouldn't want to re-injure it, and it would be easier to do that right now. I haven't ruled out the possibility of doing the grind. I'd really like to join everybody, but I'm going to have to do a bit of training myself to get ready, because now I've been sitting on the couch for a few months, so it'll be challenging if I do.
Sean isn't the only missing hiker. Another had pulled out from the grind challenge after doing the first 3 training sessions.
My name is Nika Najafi. I'm 16 years old, and I was born with a visual impairment. I knew from the start that I might not be able to do the actual Grouse Grind because of a surgery. I feel like it was the right thing to do for just my health, but at the same time, I am kind of sad because I won't be able to do it with all of my peers. So when I see my friends reach the top, there probably deep down will be a twinge of I wish I was there too, but mostly it'll just be I'll be really proud of them and just really happy for them, and I'll probably hug all of them and just positive.
For the hikers at today's session, it was time to put their training to the test. But before heading out, Sean chats about hiking poles, which she suggests using instead of our canes.
So you can use the poles like your cane, use it to feel what's in front of you, but then you can also stick it into the ground vertically and lean on it as you take your step. So when you get tired, it's quite helpful.
The group wasn't entirely sold on the wet weather, but was still eager to get going. With large rocky areas and tangles of roots from the tall trees crisscrossing the trail, Russell and his guide Sean were prepared for their most demanding hike yet.
This is actually not too bad so far. Good hike. Ow. Ow.
You okay?
That's not good.
What?
I smashed my knee on a rock. Ugh. Okay. We're okay. We're good, we're okay. We're fine. Everything's perfect. I'm gonna do 5K or 4K could be so hard. Holy crap.
The increasingly damp and foggy weather made progress even trickier.
Okay, it's raining now, okay. I'm wearing a coat and a short sleeve shirt, that's it. And sweats, that's all I'm wearing.
I see the path. My glasses are becoming fogged up.
Can't tell if I'm dripping water or if I'm dripping sweat. Probably a combination of both.
This hike was becoming a real endurance test.
You can probably see that I'm freaking tired. Oh, the downside of being a weak nerd, oh boy. Yep, telltale signs of getting tired, getting clumsy.
All these challenges made communication between the hikers and their sighted guides incredibly important.
All right, stairs. Stable, somewhat stairs.
Somewhat stable.
Step to the left.
Oh, okay.
With your left foot.
Good call.
And encouragement from the rest of the group helps keep the body moving.
Good work, Russell and Sean.
Are we close to the top yet?
Russell, you're making progress. Every step gets you closer to the top.
For Harjinder, the extra training really paid off as she was one of the first to finish.
There was a lot of loose dirt and roots and rocks. I know a couple of times I stepped on those roots and branches that, that would crack, or those rocks that were tippy. But I think overall it was fine. I think it was just finding where to place your foot, and I think using the hiking pole rather than my cane helped. There were some parts where I had to go on my hands and knees and actually just crawl up. But I do think I'll be sore tomorrow, but I think I actually have improved because I would have never thought I'd be able to do this.
Russell, however, found the hike strenuous and demanding.
I think this is one of the tightest I've ever been in a while. Yeah, so far times I bashed my knee against some rocks. It was great. I mean, I had my hiking pole saved me a couple times. One time I actually fell. I put a dent in the pole because I leaned on it so much. Oh god, I think this is a quote-unquote easier version of this of the grind. So I'm gonna be prepared to die.
Coming up next, it's time to push the limits as we put on our hiking shoes and tackle the grind itself.
More to come on Do the Grind Blind. You're watching Do the Grind Blind with your guide, Grant Hardy.
Today is the big day that we've been working towards for the last 4 months.
It's 9 a.m. on Sunday, and our group of 9 blind hikers meet up with Sean Marcellet, Executive Director at Blind Beginnings, for our big date with the Grouse Grind.
Super exciting. Everybody's here. We've got media here, 3 television stations. I'm super excited.
Surrounded by a mix of family, friends, media, and other hikers, the base of the grind was turning into a very busy place. We all grabbed our trekking poles, painted to look like white canes, and put on Disability Pride t-shirts with Do the Grind Blind on the back. Some even strapped on small action cameras to capture their journey. We then paired off with our sighted guides to prep for the upcoming grind. Hiker Clement Chow and his guide Christina Duncan feel ready.
I'm excited. I'm very excited because I haven't done the grind in a long time, so it'll be nice to see if I can still do it. Also a little nervous because of how many cameras are coming around and the fact that I'm wearing one. That's also a little terrifying, but I think we'll manage, hopefully.
I feel really good. I have a great partner here. He's physically in shape, so I don't have to worry about that. He brought 2 bottles of water, which is awesome. I brought snacks. I think we're a pretty good team. We've had some training days together, and I feel he has a lot of trust in me, and he does trust me, so that's a very good thing. So yeah, I'm feeling good. Mm-hmm. Clement, how about you?
Ditto what she said, only about her, not me.
And how are hiker Harjinder Saran and her guide feeling?
My guide, Adam, and I feel ready. I think that it's going to just take a lot of communicating with each other, because letting each other know what works best for us, how much to describe, and things I don't need described.
I'm feeling as ready as I can be right now. I have a feeling that Harjinder is going to be guiding me by the time we get to the top.
And what about hiker Russell Young and his guide?
My guide Sean is he's done the grind plenty of times, so he's fine. I'm not worried about him. I'm worried about myself more of because.
Yeah, same here. I'm worried about him.
Anticipation and confidence was in the air, and my guide and I were certainly feeling it.
My guy Johnny and I are a great team. I think we communicate really well, and there shouldn't be any issues. We're doing great.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting.
Totally, it's going to be good.
We got this.
We got this. The group was also pumped up by some good news from Sean.
So the doctor gave me the word about 3 weeks ago that I'm fully healed, and I specifically said, can I do the Grouse Grind? And he said yes. So I'm not as fit as I wanted to be. I don't feel as prepared as I would have liked to be, but I'm going to do it.
Guiding Sean was a job that falls to someone very close to her.
My name's Derek Irvin, and I'm Sean's husband and guide for Do the Grind Blind. She's pretty good at dealing with the terrain and that kind of hiking and stuff like that. I don't have much problem guiding Sean through that. She's pretty good. I'm lucky to have to be guiding her. So,
with all the interviews and photo ops wrapped up, it was time to set out into the mountain forest and tackle the grind. We hit the start of the trail as the media got their action shots.
You are good to go.
We're good to go. Let's do it.
Yeah, hey!
I can't believe this is actually happening.
I know. Great.
All right, hello everybody. I'm Ginger over here. I'll be a tour guide on the Grouse Grind. Woo! Hello, camera.
I don't want to be last. Okay, let's go. So, hello everybody. Well, hello everybody. This is okay. Step up and up.
I'm going to be saying that this whole trip.
Yep.
And
Up,
another
up,
up.
up.
We're going to come over to the side here.
Okay.
Okay, we're going to do a big step up. Are you ready?
Oh, this one. Oh yeah, I remember this step. Oh.
Okay, and another big step.
Okay, guys, good luck. Thank you.
Yeehaw!
Everyone seems to be giddy with energy as we start on the first quarter of the grind.
Really, it's just a lot of rocks right now?
Yeah.
Good pace, Clement.
Yep.
We're rocking it.
Literally. It really doesn't need to be. I don't think we need to push it that hard yet.
No.
I can tell that these people's feet have been here. I wonder what the GoPro can see right now.
it's pointed right at your feet.
Hello guys, look at my shoes. Aren't they rad?
Don't forget, Sharon. Always remember, the grind is a race. Always remember that.
Very funny, Russell.
Early on, the grind hardly seems that way at all. Its wide path slopes upward in a manageable way. At this point, we're all still bunched together. But some start jockeying for position before the path narrows.
See if we can move past a few people here.
Clements and I are sorry on your left.
Excuse us.
Oh, look at you, Sean. Hey,
Excuse us.
hey, no running.
Shh. Yeah, I'm not planning on making it one.
Our Ginger, we're going to get you now. We're passing you now. We're trying at least.
Along the way, signs posted to trees mark our progress in terms of both distance and elevation.
12 of 40. 12 of 40.
Personally, I really like getting through the markers as quickly as possible, which is why I looked forward to the steeper portions where we can make quicker progress up the mountain. For others, the relatively smooth ascent of the first quarter is much easier to take, but can provide a false sense of what is yet to come. The constant drive upwards is tiring, physically and mentally, and can lead to some nasty slips.
Oh, shit! Got it.
Oh, you may want to step a bit higher.
If I'm close like that, I think that means a bit of fatigue setting in.
Yeah, no, it's just slippery.
I am exor-sized. I am exor-sized.
At this point, the stairs, rocks, and roots along the grind don't pose much of a problem for me. My guide Johnny and I work efficiently, and my legs still have plenty of energy to spare. Still, the quick breaks for water are appreciated. As we make our way to the halfway mark, the group starts to separate more.
Okay, so we're in the front of the group.
Yeah.
Because there's still more people behind our Ginger.
Yes. Oh, we're doing well.
Yep.
Oh, hold on. Up.
Yes.
This stretch of the grind is tough going, but I still have energy to burn. Though steep, I like knowing that we're gaining ground against the mountain. The steps vary, whether constructed or natural, wood or stone, and always waiting around the corner, more steps, and always heading skywards. Along the way, everyone needs a quick snack and drink. At this point, every bit of fuel is essential to keep the body going because we weren't done with the grind and it certainly wasn't done with us.
Okay, lots of stairs coming up here.
Okay.
You ready?
Go ahead.
Okay, actually not quite yet. We're almost up the stairs. And here's these little stairs. Here we go.
Are you kidding? So where do I step?
Yep, step up. Another quick step up again. Eyes on it.
I'm tired. Really, really freaking tired. Okay. Yep, I'm starting to fall apart now.
It's getting steep here.
Coming up next, energy levels hit rock bottom as we close in on the mountaintop.
Stay tuned for more Do the Grind Blind. You're watching Do the Grind Blind with your guide, Grant Hardy.
It's the last quarter of the grind, and our group of 9 blind hikers with sighted guides are spread out along the trail that leads to the top of Vancouver's Grouse Mountain. On my end, I've run out of water and am really feeling tired, but foggy patches and the slightly damp weather help keep me from overheating. Hiker Russell Leong is hoping to catch a second wind to help him the rest of the way up the many, many steps, rocks, and roots through the alpine rainforest. But tired muscles can lead to nasty spills.
All right, narrow staircase. I shall step first. Do not step forward.
All right, very well.
All right, yeah. Be careful, careful.
Whoa, whoa. Ah.
Okay.
Okay.
Though tired, hiker Harjinder Saran with her guide Adam and hiker Clement Chow with his guide Christina are still feeling competitive.
Guys, do you mind if we pass you, please?
Definitely not. We're competitive. Are we really going that slow?
Yeah.
That's okay. Too narrow of a trail.
Yeah,
Pass.
let's just put it strong.
Okay.
The advantage of this, Harjinder, for you, is that you're lighter than me. And at this point, you might be in better shape than me, too.
Me?
Yeah, you.
Harjinder, you are in shape.
I'm fine.
Step up, little step. Little step up. Oh, these little wooden steps.
It smells like fresh wood.
Isn't that nice?
Yes, that is a beautiful smell.
It is a beautiful smell.
It's all in good humor because support from hikers and guides is always there.
Harjinder, I'm so proud of you.
Good job, Harjinder.
Look good job.
You too, Adam.
Here's some more
Guys,
steps.
need encouragement too.
I'm only as good as my guide.
Oh, you're a sweetie.
That's right.
Okay, step. Oh, yeah. Feel the burn.
Oh, Lord help me.
Almost there. Almost there.
Harjinder, do you hear that?
You're stepping up.
That's the gondola.
Yeah, I can hear
She's
it.
right about at the top.
Big step up, bud. Slippery road here. This is all slippery. We're just at the last piece here. And we're almost there. Run! Bring it in! We got this, baby! Okay, stop. Don't run into the camera!
You can do it, Adam. We're almost there. Ready?
Ready?
Go.
Go.
When you come up that and everybody's cheering your name and clapping, it's so cool. I love the camaraderie of this group, and I love our tight connections in our communities.
When you hear people kind of cheering on, it kind of gives you that like energy boost, like, yeah, like there's people there, I'm almost there. So I kind of got motivated, and I'm like, yes, and I just couldn't believe that, oh my gosh, I can't, like, I don't know, I was just shocked. I was expecting it to be much tougher. I just can't believe I did that.
Not long afterwards, Russell and his guide Sean make their way through the final stretch. For me, this last part of the grind was proving toughest. Tired, sweaty, and thirsty, I still had to make my way up steep terrain. The only thing keeping me going was knowing that we were mere steps from the top. So completely tired and focused, I could hardly make out the chants from the crowd as I came to the grind's end. Everyone waits and greets all the hikers from our group as they finish off the grind, including Sean Marcellet and her husband Derek Irvine.
So much relief when I heard everyone cheering and I knew I was close to the end. That was like, okay, this is over, finally. And I was thinking also, like, don't trip and come on, finish strong. I hear that other people came in running. I didn't have any in me to do that.
The group was bursting with pride and cheer. No one seemed to want the celebration to end. What a feeling.
All I remember is cheering, clapping, and yelling. I believe my time was an hour 40, I believe. What I heard is very good novice time, especially for a first timer. What kept me going is, I think it was the desire to finish this thing and the desire to show the world that even though I am blind, I can still do the grind.
I think my favorite part about this experience has been reaching the top and feeling that sudden rush to kind of run across the finish line. You kind of know it's there. I loved that feeling when there's people cheering for you and you know you're almost there. That gives you that, you kind of feel a little bit powerful. And I think that people are so individual and so unique that you should really embrace your stories and your battles, and because you have the ability to conquer anything you set your mind to.
I've always been the type who needs a lot of encouragement and needs people to push me in order for me to do something. And you know, for people to just stand up there and yell my name and just, you know, say positive things, it was just that really satisfying feeling of, wow, you know, this is doing something that's bigger than just going up a mountain.
Clement's guide, Christina Duncan, was equally moved.
The one highlight out of this event, it was summiting the top of the Grouse Grind with Clement and just how emotional we were about it and how we finally had reached our goal. I love the outdoors. I love to share being out in the outdoors. And what better population to share this with than youth with visual impairments, because they aren't often offered these experiences. So to be able to offer this and for them to jump on this with assistance from Blind Beginnings makes me really realize there's so many great opportunities out there to be shared.
You know, the main goal was just getting youth up the grind, and it really ended up being probably bigger and better than I anticipated. So I knew the youth would be able to do it. I didn't realize that it would have such an impact on the community. I think we really showed people, changed people's perceptions of what it means to be blind. If blind people can climb the Grouse Grind, then certainly they can handle walking across a street independently, or, you know, doing some of those everyday things that people think are difficult for someone who's blind. So that was really what we wanted to do, and I think we accomplished that.
Personally, joining the youth from Blind Beginnings as they trained and completed the Grind Challenge was exciting. I have so much respect for everyone involved, Sean, the hikers, and guides, And I was reminded about the importance of staying active and eating well. Most importantly, I'll always have the memory of joining everyone at the top of Grouse Mountain, where a group of 9 blind hikers proved that with determination and the right support, the possibilities are limitless.
Host Grant Hardy. Producer Emma Tandon. Videographers Sergio Vera Barahona, Cynthia Valenzuela Cobo. Integrated Describe Video Specialist Emily Harding. Post-production supervisor Jennifer Johnson. Audio post Santiago Moffat. Graphics Mike Smith. Senior producer Michelle Dudas. Director production Kara Nye. Director programming AMI TV Brian Perdue. Vice President Programming and Production John Melville. President and CEO David Arrington. Copyright 2017 Accessible Media Incorporated.